I went on a walk one day and immersed myself in nature, trying to take my mind off of all the events that were shown in the news. While I was there, I saw a child who looked upset, so I sat by him and asked him what was wrong. With puffy eyes and a flushed face, he began to tell me all the things he had been hearing. How he heard that the fish and shelled creatures in the oceans would eventually die by acidic water. How he was afraid that he would never get to see snow again and the temperature would be too hot to play outside. How he was feeling down because there was a chance that he couldn't travel to his dream locations such as Miami, Japan, and Brazil, since they would soon be underwater. But most of all, he was frustrated that he couldn't do anything about it. If only there was a way. Then I took this all in and tried to find words to comfort him, but they just didn't come right then and there. So I took his hand and showed him instead, and asked if he knew where all these issues stemmed from. "Yeah," he exclaimed, "they're from climate change." I guess he already knew that part. Well, in 2019, scientists from all over the world declared a global climate emergency, and things have been starting to progress since then. For starters, there's been thousands of climate protests worldwide, involving millions of people and nearly 200 countries in this movement. And hear this, students actually make up a large majority of the climate advocates and strikers, and they are often the ones who set them up. Many of them do this every week on Fridays for Futures, led by Greta Thunberg when she was just 15. Continuing on with our walk, we arrived at a beach. "So what exactly do they protest about?" he asked. "They're trying to get the governments and large companies to reduce carbon emissions to net zero by 2030. Okay, but what are the protests really for? You know how the country's political leaders are all adults? We, as youth, need to speak up for the change we want, because soon enough, we'll be passed down the responsibilities." Even after I told him all of this, he seemed hesitant, so I brought up something else. In this day and age, so many new inventions are being created to help the environment. From hydro dams to wind turbines and solar panels, a variety of new technologies generate energy from all natural resources, powering over a quarter of the world's electricity this way. On top of that, more and more inventions target to clean plastic from our oceans. For example, one company with this goal is the Ocean Cleanup, which was funded by an 18-year-old. Others created a filtration device called Life Straw, allowing people in developing countries to have access to clean water. On the way back, our path had been flooded. Is this what sea levels rising feels like? Yeah, you could say that. After all of this, he began to trust me, and only then, I started to believe in it myself. All this time, we had been afraid of the unknown and seeking for answers, but they were all right here in front of us. We were witnessing the change, the improvement. We are the next generation of young leaders who are making an impact with our voices and creativity.